Hi everyone, so today we are going to learn how to loop over items. A lot of people have confusion about this node, so I'm going to clarify how you can loop over items easily and without being confused. We have a newsletter and it hits in our inbox every single week. So we have created a node which is called IMAP, email trigger. So whenever the newsletter hit our inbox, we don't have to run it on a regular basis or a routine basis, because email trigger IMAP does it automatically. So it works like webhooks. Then we have a code here, so we basically transform HTTP into text so that we can split the content out for the next nodes, and then we can loop over items. So the newsletter contains two type of content. One is a list of startup that got funding announcement recently, and another one is funds. So this is why we created two different paths with the if node. So if it's a startup, then it will go to this path, and if it's a funds, then it will go to this path. Now we have a code node here to create a simpler version of the entire content, because the content is a newsletter and it looks like a paragraph. So I am trying to find the company name or the startup name, and then the overview of the startup. So that's the idea of having this node. Now I want to put this node into a clay table. And what I found when I request when I do an HTTP request at once, sometimes 24 items, 25 items, and sometimes 30 items. So when a newsletter hits here, it goes to implement the workflow, and then it hit error. Is because the HTTP request, they have some sort of limitation. You cannot push a lot of data at once. So this is why we need to go with loop over items. And we can set up a wait node here to wait 5 seconds and then process one, then another 5 seconds, then process another one. So that's where it do not hit error and the workflow completed smoothly. So now what is basically loop over item? Loop over item is something, for example, if you have a chunk of data, we break down the chunk and we process one data at a time. So that's where loop over items work. So if I click here, you will be able to see the batch size says 1, means one record will be processed from the 24 records, or maybe 25 records, or maybe 100 records. So if this node has around 100 records, then this loop over item will run 100 times. So that's the core idea of loop over item. Now I'm going to tell you how to set it up. So imagine we have 100 records here. In this split startup, we have 100 startups and their overview. We want to send each item at once, so we do not hit the error, or we do not hit the limit, HTTP request limit. Now, once we set up this, then we have to set up another node called edit field. So here we are simply having a type and then announcement, and we just have to drag and drop the items from the previous node. So we don't have the data yet, because so I'm not able to show you exactly how it looks. So yeah, when it's done, now we are going to set up a wait node. So I imagine like 5 seconds is enough to wait, and it will help us to not to hit the limit. Still, if you see 5 seconds isn't enough, then you have to increase it based on the service that you are using, the tools that you are using, their limits. Tools define or determine how many requests you can send every single minute. So I don't know exactly how many we can send every single minute in Clay, but I at least know that 5 seconds is enough to process. Okay, now we have the HTTP request. Simply it's you know already about that. You have to just put it here, all your credential, and that's it. Now what will happen, this entire loop over item will run once. So 100 records here, this will take one and then run entirely, then we'll take another one, then run entirely. So that's the exact process, and I just replicate here for funds as well. So yeah, that's it. I hope you will not be confused again. So enjoy.